back to the second half of this morning's Gone Outdoors. Kyle Agri and Scott Brewer of Brewer Agri Outdoors talking hunting, talking fishing, and talking anything we can do outdoors here on KWSN and Kello News Talk in Sioux Falls and the mighty 790 KFGO Fargo. We are excited to welcome a guest we've had on a number of times before, Bass Elite Series angler Bob Downey from Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Bob, welcome back to Gone Outdoors.
Yeah, thanks for having me, you guys. I always enjoy our chats. It's good to be back.
It's always great to hear from you. It's, we have a lot of listeners that follow along. They're following what you're doing out there. You're one of the local guys, and it's always neat to have somebody to look for in those standings on our tournament results, and say, hey, we know that guy. He's from just down the road, or he's from our hometown, or whatever it might be. You guys kind of wrapped up your season. Are you finished now with the Elite Series for this season and ready to move into winter?
Yeah, yep. We wrapped up at the end of August down in La Crosse, Wisconsin on the Mississippi River. So we're technically in our off season, you could say, from the tournament side of things. There's always sponsor commitments to be done and time on the water to be spent, just kind of honing our skills. So I'll stay plenty busy. I do a bit of bow hunting as well in the fall. That's a big passion of mine. So, we're still busy even though it's the off season.
Hey, Bob, congratulations on qualifying for the Bassmaster Classic for next year. That's kind of a championship for this year, except it's next spring. I think it's in March sometime.
Yep.
And that's got to be a huge goal of yours every year going into the season.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of the number one goal for sure for most guys on tour is you get to the Classic, you've had a decent year, you've made some checks, had some good finishes, and it's always good to be in the championship event, representing the companies you work for, and then also gives you an opportunity to win it too. So it's always good to be going to the Classic, that's for sure.
Absolutely. That's an event that's recognizable outside of the realm of anglers, right? I mean, it's something that so many people know about as a big, big event out of the year. Where's it going to be next year? What are you looking forward to as you peer into that crystal ball towards next spring?
Yeah, it's going to be in Knoxville, Tennessee, kind of at the headwaters or the start of the Tennessee River. It's called Fort Loudon and Tellico Lakes. They kind of join right there and form the Tennessee River, and largemouth and smallmouth. And I've been there a couple times and had some okay finishes. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a little bit earlier in March. So it'll be a full on, probably pre-spawn deal, but it's a tougher fishery, but I kind of like those tough tournaments. Those are generally the easier ones to win, but they're never easy to get the job done. So just looking forward to getting down there and getting practice started and see what's going on next spring.
Well, I know it's a few months off, but we'll be rooting for you, Bob, and look forward to hearing how things go next March. Let's put her in rewind just a little bit. Hit some high points of this season, Bob, and how things have gone.
Yeah, I had a couple top 5 finishes. Those are probably the highlights for me, and it was a real up and down season. I had some, down in 60s, 70s type places, but those fifth places finishes, they definitely offset it. First one was on Lake Okeechobee. Got to wind a swim jig around for pre-spawn largemouth, and that's something I do a lot of back home in Minnesota in the early spring. And then Lake 10 Killer was fifth place finish as well. That was a cool event. The water came way up into the bushes, and I got to flip wood cover and some docks as well. And that's something I love to do on the Mississippi River growing up. So a couple shallow water finishes where I just used my mapping and 2D sonar and kind of just went down the bank and used my instincts. And those were really fun tournaments.
Sounds like a great, great time. Again, congratulations on a great season and qualifying for the Bassmaster Championship next spring. Once we get past the Bassmaster Classic, we have, again, another season, the 2026 season of the Elite Series events. And for those of us that follow B.A.S.S, we know that recently there was an announcement on some changes that'll be brought into the 2026 season. Share with our listeners a little bit about what those changes are going to look like.
Yeah, so next year, I'm guessing you're referring to the forward-facing sonar rules
Yes.
and regulations for next year.
Correct.
So Bassmaster decided to limit forward-facing sonar in some of the tournaments, and the way they did it was we have 9 tournaments throughout the year, and they wanted to get as close to a 50-50 split as possible. So they grouped the first 8 tournaments in pairs and flipped the coin to determine which one would have it and which one would not. So out of the first 8 tournaments, 4 tournaments will be able to use forward-facing sonar, and then 4 tournaments we will not be able to use it. And then for the 9th event, they did a coin flip as well to determine the rules for that event. And it happened to be that we will have it in that 9th event. So next year we'll have 5 tournaments where we can use forward facing and 4 tournaments where we cannot use it. So it'll mix it up for sure. Everybody's going to be in the same ballpark in terms of what we can and cannot use. And it'll, make the anglers be pretty diverse and have to catch them with it and have to catch them without it. So it'll make for an interesting season for sure.
Bob, I think B.A.S.S has tried for many years to make things as fair as possible for all anglers. So my question is, did they contact any of you? I think there's 150 of you that fish the Elite Series or whatever that number is. Did they contact you guys and get your input on this before they made this change?
Yeah, so we have what's called an angler group that is set aside and separate from Bassmaster, and we hold our own votes on certain things throughout the season. And the angler group voted on, forward-facing sonar for 2026 from a number of different standpoints, whether it was 50-50, a complete ban, no ban at all. And I think the overall majority wanted some sort of restriction. And then when it came to a full-out ban or a 50-50 restriction, the majority voted on a 50-50 rather than a full-out ban. And Bassmaster listened to the angler group, and they take our votes into account when they make their decisions. And so it actually reflected what the majority voted for. Now, there's always going to be a minority that doesn't agree with it, but that's just the world we live in. You can kind of only do a voting system one way, and there's going to be a majority and a minority, and Bassmaster listened to the anglers and chose to go with the majority vote for 2026. And that's what will happen next year. It's not set in stone for life. This is an ever-changing world that we live in, and things could be different going forward too. We just never know.
It's great to hear that you had input right into that decision-making process. And I guess that's right. As a participant, that's what you have to ask for, right? Is just that your voice is heard, and then the decisions are made, and then you live with it and move on. And it's certainly going to make for an interesting year next season. And I know we'll all be watching to see what the different scores and results end up between those events with forward-facing sonar and those without. Definitely will be something that we'll be interested in. Bob, if folks want to follow along, they want to see what you're doing when it gets to the Classic time next year, and certainly through other aspects of your career, where can they do that?
Yeah, so I try and stay pretty active on social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. On Facebook, it's Bob Downey Fishing, and then Instagram is just Bob Downey with an underscore at the end. And then I've also been a little more active on YouTube this year. I have recaps for each tournament. I'll have the 7th one actually posting here this week for Lake 10 Killer. We're at a top 5 finish. So if you guys want to go check out all my tournament footage, I'll try and put that on YouTube as well. And that's just at Bob Downey Fishing.
Fantastic. Bob Downey, B.A.S.S, Elite Series Angler. Bob, thanks for spending some time with us this morning.
Yep. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Folks, don't go away. We got a whole lot of Gone Outdoors yet ahead of us. We're going to take a quick break now and be back with more Outdoor Talk.
Looking for somewhere to get all your fishing information in one place? onX Fish Midwest has something for you. Search for new fishing areas with filtering features such as species, abundance, trophy potential, lake survey info, regulations, and area insights are just a click away.
Getting to your target lake has never been easier with access points and public land ownership clearly marked on OnX Fish. Mark and customize waypoints and weather for your exact location. Use code BA Outdoors to get 20% off OnX Fish Midwest at onxmaps.com.